Yes, you can't schedule or manage a broadcast because it's already started. Oh, really?
Does that mean we're live?
I don't know what that means. Good morning, everybody.
It says we're live.
Oh yeah, I see you. I see you. I see people joining. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning. Annie was here for just a second. So she came in, said hello, and then she was out. She says, "I'll support outside of the bar or the page." So good morning. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm doing well. The number one thing we got to go through.
Oh yeah. What day it is?
So what day it is? It's one that's so most days have like multiple things, and some days have nothing. Today it was a small day, but it's National Teddy Bear Day.
Oh yeah, you definitely need your teddy bear because it is cold outside, man. I don't know if you guys can see that, but oh my
Yep,
god.
you got to hold still. There you go. Cold. Yes, it is. That's what
Oh,
I was saying. We were just talking about getting up a little later because it was a little colder today.
dude. Okay, so I actually I woke up this morning and I'm like, all right, cool. This is going to be great content to ask, and it sure was great content because I said, show me your temperature wherever you're at. Here downtown Prescott, it hit a nice 40 degrees in my location. I wasn't able to go outside and look at an actual thermostat, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I love it. Today's the coldest day of this, right? It starts heating back up a little bit tomorrow and then it creeps back up. But everything on the 10-day forecast says it's going to stay in the 80s, and I'm loving that.
It's perfect weather. That's at fall and March or springtime is like the weather where it's just like peaceful, nice. But this extra cold stuff is definitely not for me. I actually had a thermal on just a
I
second.
know. Look at you. Look at those long arms. Those long sleeve arms. Look at that.
I put it on, man. I actually had I had an extra layer, guys. I'm not lying. I had an extra layer. Good morning, Tri City Power Wash. Good morning, Annie. Annie's going back to school. She's like, I'm going back to bed. Kids going back to school. I'm going back to bed. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. I
And
use a lot.
this is a big deal. I mean, the kids have been out of school since spring break.
Yeah. It was a great little response that I got from little Kiki. She was just like, I loved it. I made a friend. We couldn't play on the playground, and I made a friend. So they need that social interaction as well. Even though that the parents are at her age is pretty good. I can only imagine how it is for teenagers and parents where you're able to escape their antics, but now you can't really escape anything. You're just stuck in the middle of it. But here we are.
It's crazy. It is. I'm glad that they've got something to look forward to. So that's good. And I've heard really good things from some of the schools as far as good feedback, and I've heard not so good on some of the other schools as far as they're going back. But I think they're doing it.
Uh, you know, Once again, we're
How
all.
was your experience?
How was my experience?
Yeah, how was your guys' experience for your first day?
It was cool. I mean, obviously, it's our first day back at this location, and we have. I mean, the parking lot is kind of like a big old huge roundabout. As soon as you get there, you're out there in the streets. They say, "Oh, keep on going," and then it's a roundabout, a huge roundabout. But to be in all honesty, it just gets stuck. It gets stuck right there. So, anyways, growing pains, some kind of pains. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, did they redesign that parking lot? Because I remember that parking lot. It's tough.
Yeah, they did, and I have no clue how they actually who performed it, who did it, or whatnot. But it seems like it's a workable deal. There's a lot of lines on the thing. I mean, a lot of lines. It's crazy. You don't
Do
know
cars
which
cars
which.
have to stay 6 feet apart?
No, that would be cool though. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why they would have to stay 6 feet. There's definitely no 6 feet apart on the what do you call it on the in that parking zone. There's no doubt about it. But they have it in certain sequences. So first graders get dropped off at a certain time, and then so on and so on. But then you only have to do it once or twice a week. So it's a kind of a positive. I think it's a positive. I mean, I don't know, Eric. I'm just making the best out of it. I'm just saying, what else can be, make confusing?
No, it's good. It's good. So, I mean, I take it outside of that, let's talk about what other local happenings are going on. So, I mean, what do you want to dig into? Because there is plenty of it.
Well, okay, so Eric, we have like certain things that I definitely really love to go ahead and talk about. But one of the biggest conversation right now that we're having is sort of the end of summer, what's happening in school. So some of the events I'm actually planning myself. So I want to talk about those if we can. And this is what I'm going to be doing.
All right,
So
let's hear it.
at the end of the month is basically my birthday, but at the same time we were doing the White Spar Farmers Market. So us, as meaning us and the vendors, decided to go ahead and step back just a tad bit, and we're going to do it once a month. But we're also going to go ahead and bring a lot of things added to it. So music and also food for the vendors and or for the people. So Monday night will be one of those nights where you can go ahead and relieve yourself and just come down and hang out for a couple of minutes or two, do a little shopping for some local vendors. And we're also going to be giving out food boxes. And so we kind of like we're trying to put it to the point where we want to go ahead and give back to the community. And if we could do it in a wholehearted way, we're going to make it happen. So that's huge. And then immediately after that, the following weekend, we're going to be doing an outside punky reggae party. I know it's kind of like cliche, but Los Pinos decided to go ahead and let us rent out the place. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to rent out the place, and that's basically Martine's plan. And then it's
That's
just
awesome. That sounds like fun.
yeah, it's going to keep on going, Eric. We have a lot of people that are wanting to do so many events. We have yoga, we have paint night, we have music scenes, downtown Prescott business partnerships, obviously gearing up. A lot of outside bars that have actual patios and stuff. They're going to be doing nothing but music and hangouts, barbecues, and try to soak up as much sun as they possibly can. Although waking up this morning, the first thing that I did, I was like, "Oh no, the girls are gonna be cold." So I put on that heater, man. I
Oh,
was wow.
did it do that awful smell thing? I hate turning on the heater the first time.
No, no, no. We, I knew better, so I kind of already heated it up and run it up early this week, knowing that this was coming because I like to watch some things, and that's one of the things that I saw coming. And this cold weather also brings in a little bit of an issue because some of the actual farms locally are going to be hurting because their fields are going to freeze. And I guess there was a microburst that came through and destroyed some of Schaefer's farm's little greenhouse. So I don't,
Oh, that one that went through on Saturday?
huh?
The one that went through on Saturday.
I think so. I don't know what day it was, but shout out to those guys. I offered my help, so hopefully the community or even the farming community will come together and help each other out. I think that a durable greenhouse could be very effective for a lot of people that actually have land and want to go ahead and start farms or start farming. So I
Well,
don't
we
know.
need to do more grow something, videos. But that's what they were showing us, San Martin, is that they can actually start the food in the winter, and they can actually keep it incubated in those things all winter long.
Yeah. Well, we definitely I want to advocate for that. So I offered my help to see what we could possibly do as a community to come and help them either harvest their vegetables or see if we could go ahead and get that greenhouse back up and where it's you know basically supporting from for all types of weather. It doesn't look like that thing will do very well during the winter time. So it needs to be a durable.
I'm guessing it's a big greenhouse, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
definitely. It's
it's not one you get at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, it could be the one that from Harbor Freight. I don't know.
Really?
It
Okay.
looked like it was durable enough, to withstand some of the winds that are out in Chino Valley, Paulden area. But it looks like the microburst was too much. So I don't know exactly. I didn't check out the material, but it didn't look like it was ready for any kind of major weather. But we'll see what happens, Eric. See what
All
happens.
right. No, I get it. So, we've been kind of avoiding it because we want to stay positive and go through these things. But the mayor put out a video yesterday, and, a number of people are calling community leaders, which is you, to kind of talk about it as well. I mean, do you have any comments on Friday's events and the mayor's comments yesterday?
I'm like, what did you just say?
No.
Do I have comments? Man, Eric,
Positive comments, I want to add.
the positiveness is this is that both mayors did step out, and this would be my first time actually saying something on the Prescott Times as far as me trying to get involved. I know that there is discomfort throughout all of our country, all of the world. It's not just in Prescott, Arizona, obviously. But my things are this is that when you have organizations that want to go ahead and produce something such as peace or even protection or even just just acknowledging things. I know it's election season and it's very very heated, and my take is this is that I love community. I love walking out and saying hello to everybody, no matter their color, no matter their creed, no matter their beliefs, no matter what. I'm just a nice guy. That's just who I am. And it's really hard to step up and say, oh my gosh, I'm there for those patriots because they were protecting our businesses. Because yeah, they were there to protect, but they were also there to hashtag um, unbelievable attitude. It was definitely something that was not cool. I seen and I heard some stuff, and I mean, my immediately reaction was, "Can I give you a hug?" And those people looked at me like as if I was a crazy lunatic, even though they're the ones that were wanting to go ahead and bring division amongst people rather than having a simple discussion where, hey, how can I go ahead and help you, help me, help us in our community? So, with that being said, it wasn't just one side of the park that was instigating, because people the other side were, yes, they were young and they were coming from the Prescott College, and Prescott individual was the people behind it. And I just wanted to ask the question, what makes you think that this is the proper stage for this information to go out, knowing that this could be possibly the reaction? But once again, would I have allowed it to happen? No. The reason why is because, you know, out of sight, out of mind, perfectly fine in Prescott. The world is already fighting for something that's going on right now. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I'm a person of color. I obviously, I always say it a lot to everybody. I have a beard, I have tattoos, and I'm also brown. And I'm just like, some things people like to go ahead and look at, and it's kind of like your description. But what do I do to change it? I walk into any place and I will go ahead and say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I'll smile. And that right there could go ahead and end a lot of confusion. Because I don't get me wrong, I would think that if somebody's staring at me, I would say, "Wow, that guy has a freaking problem." What kind of problem do you have, Holmes? Those are the type of attitudes that come along with staring. But if you come to find out, some people will probably staring at you probably because they look like one of their friends from the places they're from. It's called the thing called doppelganger. And I've caught it many times before. People will be like this. I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Acknowledging that the person's staring at me. And that's exactly what will come out of their mouth. "Man, you look like my friend from back in California," or "You look like my friend out of, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, dude, doppelganger, and it makes sense just to say hi to people if they're staring at you. You don't even know what they're thinking, but because of your attitude, your mindset, from wherever you're from, has put you into that place. And I'm very sorry, very, very sorry that you have to grow up or deal with that in your area. But in Prescott, yeah, there is some people that have, issues, but it's not the over majority. And to be in all honesty, I've lived here all my life, and nobody comes down to the courthouse proclaiming them being racist. Nobody has done that in a long time. And nobody has done that to me, because I think that I actually defer that because I'm just a likable person. I like people. And if a person's mean and doesn't want to say hi back, I'll be like, I will say, "Hey, I said good morning." Just kidding.
Well, and hey, San Martin. So just to wrap up this segment, right? Is it was on national news,
Yeah,
and
unfortunately.
that and they set our town up. Is how I feel. Is the whole thing was designed to make a big deal, and that's we kind of fell for it. And so, as our mayor said, we can do better, and I think we can. And it's everybody's right to protest. It's everybody's. It's great that we saw a show of force of everybody out there, but we can do it in a civil fashion. We're all neighbors.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate scenario that everybody's obviously watching is mainstream media that is inciting these deals, and basically it is just very, very unruly right now. And unfortunately, I don't feel like these different people in their different sections are going to settle for having a civil protest of where people's emotions and people's feelings will combine as one as of right now. And yeah, she says peace on the plaza. I like that. We will probably end up, taking that and running with it. But overall, my friends and family and everybody and anybody that wants to watch this, Democrat, Republican, Black, White, Asian, Texan, Californian, Nevadian, Prescottonian, bearded man, whatever it may be, we could all really honestly live and work with each other and live in a happy community. I've seen it. I've done it. I've walked into many stores and I haven't gotten into any fights. I haven't gone out of my way to be like, hey, I want to hurt you right now because of your color, your skin. I mean, when I was in a gang, that's exactly what it was all about. You come into my neighborhood and you're not supposed to be there, it's not a good thing. And I realized that that's not a cool thing either. I mean, don't get me wrong, protection was protection, but at the same time, if we work as a community, could protect ourselves, protect the city of Prescott Valley, Prescott, Arizona, Chino Valley. We could protect it without having some sort of racial discrimination. I feel like we're all human. We all know exactly what is good and what is bad. And I think that that's exactly how we should be living our lives. And I mean, I might be a little bit too optimistic, but man, it's really easy for me not to punch people in the face. I mean, really, it is. So if I could do it, you could definitely do it because man, Martine, I used to fight a lot when I was younger, but it was because I love to fight. And I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say fight, I was actually fighting with my friends, and I would be like backpack off, and then all of a sudden we'll have a slap boxing match, and I swear to you, man, it was some good times, and then it would turn into a WWF match, and then all of a sudden it would be a gang fight because everybody would start jumping on each other. It was fun, man, when we hung out in the neighborhoods. We used to have BB gun wars, man. That's how cool Prescott was. And you know what? Yeah, there's racial tension everywhere, but at the same time, if you stay in your lane, a lot of those lanes, really, honestly, it's fun. It's fun to be able to live your life and enjoy people that want to be enjoyed. I don't know. So glad you brought it up, Eric. I wasn't ready for that one.
I know. Hey, nothing like throwing the wolves to the fire. I figured I'd do it on a cool day, right?
Yeah, when everybody's at home trying to snuggle up. I mean, I even got Heather Hartwork on over here and Ceci, man. And hey, everybody is online right now because they're all cuddled up in their beds, probably right now, staying warm, drinking their coffee, And I mean, don't get me wrong. I really would love to go ahead and be an advocate of peace and love and happiness because that's exactly what I feel like my life is all consistent of. And anybody that comes around me, it's a big deal, I mean, I actually got a story right now before we end up this segment.
All right, let's hear it.
So I was sitting here at the salon, and a lady was walking by with her dog, and her dog proceeds to lift his leg and start peeing. What I felt like it was peeing on the sign, and obviously I was like, I walk outside. I'm like, hey, can you not have your dog pee on the sign? And her rebuttal was, he ain't peeing on your sign. And I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't know what to say after that. I'm not going to go out there and harass her and like look at it, which maybe I did go out there and look at it because whatever. But the dog ended up lifting his leg by the sign, and it was literally by the sign and on a bush. Um, and the same morning, after she left and walked away, she called the salon, left a message, and her message was, I felt bad. I should have probably have a little bit more sympathy. I immediately say my dog wasn't, urinating on your sign, but he was urinating on your bush, which was already, whatever. And she just said, I felt like I didn't think and was considerate of what you were thinking, so I'm sorry. So fast forward a little bit, it's
This
about
really happened, right?
this happened two
Wow.
weeks later, just today, this morning. This is the reason why I'm talking about it, because I like to talk about current events. She's walking by with her dog, and I think that's her. I can't remember if it was her. And then I said good morning, and she says good morning back, and then I'm like, wait, is that the girl that called the salon? So I got up and I said, hey, are you the one that called up and the salon and was about your dog, whatever? She goes, yeah, that was me. And I was like, you know what? Thank you for being a kind person, and thank you for actually acknowledging that, because that's what we lack. We lack some things, and we want to go ahead and try to bring into some sort of like toughness of some things, but at the same time, we're all neighbors. We all have to think about each other and how our neighbors would think about that. So with that,
That is an awesome story. I mean, things can escalate so out of control. I mean, with stuff like that, and that's how it turned out. That is the Prescott I know.
exactly. And it's always been that way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can't say that there wasn't racism in Prescott. I showed you guys some pictures a couple of days ago, and it was about, the Ku Klux Klan was actually having a parade downtown Prescott in 1928 or something like that, a long time ago. And yeah, that was Prescott. And I can't say too much about it, but at the same time, I'm just like, we are now here today, 2020, and look at me, guys, a brown man being an influencer in Prescott, Arizona, but I don't consider it me being a brown man. I consider it me being a human being trying to go ahead and make something happen for my community and also for my friends and family. Like, there's nothing wrong with
And San Martin, I got to butt in because I actually look at it differently. You were a guy who's worked your butt off to get here, and people like you, and you're good at this. And so that's how I look at
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do what I feel like is the best thing. When I was in high school, they used to call me Mr. Get Along Gang. And the
it.
reason why
So Heather said it was a funeral procession in 1927. So that's interesting.
oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I'll send you the thing that was there. I guess there's a website where you could go ahead and find out news clippings from in the past. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh,
I
we
like
have some interesting history, no doubt, right?
yeah. And I mean, you know what? I don't want to bring it to past, but at the same time, we are all doing our thing. Ceci, she actually came up with a great idea, we're actually going to make it happen. Ceci and her mother came up with an idea that we should have a segment, and we'll call it the Faces of Prescott, Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, and we could go ahead and talk with people that are of different ethnicities. Even though that's not an issue, but the people of Prescott, there's so many different types of people here. You have Indians, you have Asians, you have Mexicans, you have Americans, you have Irish, you have Romanian, you have Hawaiian. We'll call Hawaiians Hawaiians because they're their own little race. They are obviously, but all these people live amongst us in Prescott, Arizona. These people are just living where they're not taking their consideration of their race. I mean, yeah, of course they're going to keep a couple things of their heritage, but who wouldn't keep some of their stuff of their heritage? But anyways, we think that we should go ahead and expose some of the things that are here in Prescott. And I think my last recap of this scenario is that businesses that are out there, I know you have something to say, and it's hard to keep on the sidelines, but now is the time for us to go ahead and step up and just proclaim, who we are and what we are all about here locally in Prescott. So, hashtag peace. What was the one? Peace what? Peace on the plaza.
Peace on
Hashtag
the
peace.
plaza or the square, you're right? Yeah, I love it.
Hashtag unity.
And San Martin, we've got a couple more. We've got a couple more months before the election, and obviously, I don't think this is going to die down immediately or go away. Right? It's here to stay. This is the world we live in. So hopefully, we find ourselves with some understanding and some peace. That's key. I don't think we want to be on TMZ again.
Oh man, I already know that the second round of what's going to happen next is going to be portraying, and it's probably building up already. There's no doubt about it. And it just saddens me that it was allowed, to be honest, and acknowledging, the weekend that was going to be ahead of us, and having the ability to not have a permit without the discretion of what's going to happen during that time is like, oh gosh,
Well,
I
and San Martin, I mean, I think we found out they didn't have to have a permit, right? It is a constitutional protective right to to protest. But we maybe it could have been planned a little bit better to where they weren't on top of each other.
that's a whole story that we need to really really examine, because obviously the storm is here and it's not going to go anywhere, like you said, for a minute. So if we can counteract it with the people that are out there and wanting to go ahead and unify the community, some of the things that we could go ahead and put out there, which I'm advocating right now, is helping those that are in need in the community.
Yes, and there's a lot of it right now, San Martin. And we're
And
going into the holidays, and you and I and Annie are working on all kinds of things that we can do to help out the community, because I think the community's in worse shape right now than it's been in a long time, just because of the pandemic and the shutdowns and everything else.
yes, and many people are out there and they're in need. I actually had a few messages already stating that my family's in need. Can you help? And I'm just like, all right, let's do this. And they're there. Some people are prideful. I mean, even if you guys had a great job and your job is just not doing too well, or if you had a great job and your wife or your spouse had a great job or whatever it may be, and you're losing or missing that income because you have to go ahead and pay your bills, and then now that means there's less food on the table. It doesn't matter. You message me. I am not going to tell anybody about your woes in life. It's not what my ambition is. My ambition is to make sure that everybody has food on the table, and as well as Real Hope Inc. I mean, this is the reason why I'm doing it, is because they have the ability to go ahead and feed people that are in need. I mean, it's not a bunch of stuff, but it's enough to go ahead and put some food on the table. And it's as much as I could give. And if you guys are out there and you could give something, all we need is volunteers as well. We have the produce. We just need people to go ahead and reach out to your neighbors, your elderly people that are on a fixed income, that has. I mean, my family is just in the same position. Everybody, we're not all hunky dory. Sometimes my sister's in need. Sometimes my brothers are in need. Sometimes my nephews, my nieces, my cousins, they're in need. And guess what? I help out. And just like anybody else, we get prideful and we never ask for it because we feel like we could go ahead and make it work. But don't wait to the last minute, guys. This is something that is not good. I want to see all the children be fed, And I guess there's also something out there I should throw out there if you guys are watching or listening. There's going to be a clothes drive as well. So there's a bunch of clothes that we're just going to give out.
As it's getting cold, yeah, that's important, right? People forget about those things, basic needs.
And so, I mean, if there's anybody out there and we want to go ahead and try to change the image of our location, or even your hearts, or even your neighbors, let's do something like give away or help put together, food drive, clothing drive. And it's just something that we can do. Advocate for your future farmers and advocate for your children to, start thinking about something that they want to look into as far as helping out their communities, and start volunteering on some good advocates that are out there. And I think Real Hope is a great advocate to volunteer for. So anyways, we're looking for people that are in need. We're looking for people that are wanting to use their services, that feel compelled to go ahead and give back to your neighbors. Let me know. I'll tell him to bring his truck, and we'll set up in a neighborhood and we'll deliver out of that neighborhood. Your clubhouses, we don't really care. We're not discriminating anywhere. You want to be at a Hacienda clubhouse, we'll go up there as well.
There you go.
Million dollar homes, we'll come down the street, my friends. They could be hungry as well. So we're not discriminating anybody, and there is no discrimination here. And I'm glad you brought that up. But as a community, we could go ahead and really, really do some damage as far as a peaceful damage, and we all got to work together. So,
Good. Well, and you know what? It is that time, bud. Wrap it up.
wow, that was quick. Well, everybody knows how to go ahead and find us, how to go ahead and see everything that's going on. You can go ahead and follow our pages at theprescotttimes.com, or at the Prescott Times. And then you can go ahead and go to the website. It's still up and running, but we're getting ready to open up a new one. And I felt like this weekend was, but I must miss my email. Don't tell nobody. Martine's kind of, pair or what do you call it? Not, I read differently sometimes. I read the first part and the last part.
Dyslexic.
Yeah, yeah. I think I am. I might be dyslexic, and I might
Hey,
have
a lot of people have it. That's pretty common.
I might have ADHD. But anyways, guys, peace, love,
I
and
know you have ADHD, but that's okay. I love it. I do too. So
yes, and I know how to work with it though. I know how to work with it. But anyways, peace, love, and happiness. Let it not be war. And remember, love will always win, and that's exactly what we're fighting for. So, peace, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Eric. Always, you were a great man. And you know what, guys? Stay warm. We got one more night of it, and then it starts warming up as the fall comes in. So, if you guys have any stories, send it to the editor at theprescotttimes.com.